guest? Welcome to today's Big Brother 20 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Barbara Richards. Barbara, thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate it. We think you're awesome, and we hope you're having a great Labor Day. We hope everybody's having a great Labor Day. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. We only have a couple of weeks left, and also if you haven't watched this week's Puppet Theater yet, check it out. We had a lot of fun bringing the jurors back. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on in the house. Yesterday, there was a really slow start to the day, but eventually there was some interesting game talk, so hang in there. All right, Kaycee and Tyler were chatting in the HOH room, and she asks him, has anyone tried making a Final Two deal with you yet? And Tyler laughs, and he's like, no. He said, you know, people keep kind of like beating around the bush, you know, talking in circles about it, but nobody's really like made a Final Two with him. That's a lie. He's got 3 other Final Twos aside from the one with Kaycee. So Tyler's like, let me change the subject a little bit. He says he's pretty sure that Brett and JC have a Final Two deal. So Kaycee's like, yeah, I could see that. They've been spending a lot of time together. They think that Brett is still loyal to level 6, which I think he is. It seems like, judging by his DR sessions from last night's episode, he's actually planning on staying loyal to that Final Two that he has with Tyler. But, like, I don't think Tyler feels the same. But they think that JC is Brett's backup plan if things go south. So then Kaycee and Tyler pledge their loyalty to each other. They have no doubts about each other. And it does seem like Kaycee is Tyler's actual Final Two, but I think that's a really bad move on his part. I don't know if he's going to change that now that he's hearing it's a bitter jury, because I feel like if Tyler goes to the end with Kaycee, there's a really good chance that Kaycee's going to whoop his butt. But Tyler's saying, you know, we're in such a great spot right now, nobody sees how close we are to each other. He says Angela doesn't even know how close they are. He says he doesn't tell her everything like he tells Kaycee. Because Kaycee, she'll take information and she'll stay cool. She doesn't panic or freak out. But he feels like if he tells Angela certain things, she'll be like, so he doesn't tell her as much stuff. But they say that they want to get down to their 4 remaining members of level 6, and then whatever happens, happens. That's not really true though, because there is definitely a pecking order within the alliance, which we'll get to in a second. But then they're talking about how Scottie is the target this week. We get more confirmation on that. But Tyler really wants to keep it ambiguous. He doesn't want Haleigh or Scottie to know who the actual target is this week, because he doesn't want that person going to the jury house knowing that he wanted them out. He wants to be like, I'm not voting this week. It's up to everybody else, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So then Kaycee says, we really need to start studying the days, because when it comes down to the Final 4, it's going to be the 2 of them and Angela versus Brett. Brett is all alone. Oh, that's so sad. But Tyler says that Brett really has the dates down. He practices them all the time. He knows what's up. But he's been practicing a lot with level 6, especially Tyler, which is helping them out too. So then they're like, yeah, keep studying. It's working out for us. But they are then thinking, like, who would Brett bring to the Final Two if it's up to him? And they think that he would take Angela because, let's face it, the jury freaking hates her. It's true. Okay, so then they're talking about what they want to do next week. They still have a couple people to get rid of before it's just level 6 left. So they're planning on putting Sam and Haleigh up on the block, and then JC would be the replacement nominee if necessary. So Tyler's like, you know what? You and Angela would be the perfect people to put JC up, because he's been talking about you guys so much and talking about how you need to be split up. So it would be justified. And they agree. They don't want JC to go yet, but they feel like he needs to feel the block. You know, he's been sitting pretty for a long time. They just want him to get a taste of the block, and that's it. They don't want to get rid of him yet. So then Tyler and Haleigh were chatting a little while later, and Tyler's just like, what's up? And she's like, you told me to talk to you after the veto. And it's after the veto. So Tyler's telling her, yeah, don't freak out. Don't do anything crazy. And Haleigh's like, that's easier said than done. So Tyler tells her, like, do you remember how I said before it's not beneficial for you to go? He says, I meant that. So Haleigh's like, all right, well, would you tell me if I was the target? Tyler says, yeah. But Haleigh's worried because she sees everyone having so much fun with Scottie. You know, he's right back in there. And Tyler says, yeah, but it was like that before Scottie left last time too. So don't worry about that. He says, just as long as you don't go to Scottie and tell him you feel safe, you'll be fine. And Haleigh's like, oh, I would never do that. Because, like, first of all, I would feel bad for Scottie. Like, that would make him feel like crap. Also, I don't feel totally safe. So then Haleigh is like, I would never do that. I would never do anything to upset y'all. And Tyler says, y'all? Who's y'all? And Haleigh's like, well, you, Tangela, and Kaycee. So, yeah, she's clearly pointing out that Tyler, Tangela, and Kaycee are a trio, which they are. But also, she's saying she would never do anything to upset them. She's put all of them up on the block. And I know, like, the past is in the past, but when you only have a few people in the house that are coming after you, yeah, you're going to want to go after them, right? Tyler's not going to go after, like, Sam before Haleigh when Haleigh has put him up on the block. So Tyler's like, well, we're not a y'all. And Haleigh's like, well, I don't have anyone. I need a person. And she says again, she's not coming after him. She's targeting Sam. So Haleigh was also asking Tyler, like, if he's in a showmance with Tangela. And Tyler's like, get out of here. Were you in a showmance with Fessy? And she's like, no. Y'all both lying. Y'all. Okay. But Haleigh says, as she said before, she doesn't want this weirdness between them to continue if she stays. If she wins HOH, she says she's not going to put him up, and she hopes that he wouldn't put her up again. I honestly don't know if Haleigh would put Tyler up. I'm thinking no. I think she would definitely go for Sam first. I'm not sure who she would put up next to Sam. But, I mean, she'd have to go after Tyler eventually, right? And Tyler would absolutely put Haleigh up again, for sure. So then they were talking about what various people would do if they won HOH. They're going through the list, and they get to Brett, and they're like, I don't know what Brett would do. I think Tyler does, but Haleigh's like, I don't know. And then Haleigh she talks too much, okay? She talks too much. She brings up the time that she walked in on Brett celebrating with Tyler, Tangela, and Kaycee after Tangela won the HOH. And Tyler's like, yeah, I was confused why Brett was celebrating that. What? It was so weird. So he says that Tangela explained to him that she had told Brett ahead of time that if she won, she would be targeting Sam. So that's why they were all celebrating together. And Haleigh's like, oh, well, in my head, when I saw that, I thought it clearly looked like a 4-person alliance. But Tyler's denying it. Come on. Oh, my God. So then, before this conversation's over, Haleigh sneaks in a little dig at Scottie. She's like, I personally know that Scottie is very bitter, and he's coming back with a vengeance. He's not here to be friends with anyone, and he made that very clear. She says, I don't even know if he's trying to be friends with me right now. So she's like, you need to get rid of Scottie. Okay, so then a little while later, they have the have-not announcement for the week. It was like 8:30 p.m., which is pretty late. They usually do it earlier in the day, but it was not up to Tyler this week. The card said that the have-nots for this week are the first 3 out of the HOH competition, which means JC, Sam, and Scottie. So let's look at this for a second. I feel like Big Brother is really pushing for some Tangela action with this move because it was definitely Tangela's turn in the rotation. She's only been a have-not once so far, and it would have been her turn. But Big Brother was like, nope, it's gonna be these 3 people. Also, this is the 2nd time in a row for JC. 3rd time overall for him, 3rd time for Sam, 4th time for Scottie. Ouch. I'm wondering, is this also production's way of saying F you to JC for all the drama he has been causing and for how much throughout the season he's been like, F you, Big Brother, and totally ignoring them. I feel like it could be partially that too. But it seemed like the three have-nots have been taking it well so far. Honestly, I was kind of expecting JC to freak out, but he was like, oh well, it's not the end of the world. We'll see how he feels in a few days. Okay. So then, not long after that, Scottie and Brett were in the hot tub, and Scottie was spilling some sweet, sweet jury knowledge to Brett. Not only was he talking about things that the jurors were discussing in the jury house, but he was also kind of explaining events from earlier in the season that were a little bit cloudy before, but now with that jury knowledge, he can clarify some things. So he was telling Brett all about the love square in the early weeks, Fessy, Haleigh, Caitlyn, and Tyler, and how that whole thing blew up and led to Caitlyn taking out Swaggy. Why did I say that so weird? I almost said Scottie. Yeah, so Brett's like, wow, that makes a lot more sense now, knowing all that. Scottie told him about the creation of the hive. He was like, I also found out that Haleigh's got a bunch of final twos, or had a bunch of final twos. Fessy, Scottie, Rockstar, Bailey, all saying that they had final twos with Haleigh. He told Brett that the Girls Alliance 100% happened. It wasn't just a rumor. And Brett's like, yeah, no shit. But he wants to know who was running that, you know, who was initiating that. So Scottie's like, it seems like Rockstar and Haleigh were in charge of that, and Rachel was really pushing for it too. They also note that Sam was left out of it. Oh, Sam, that's so sad. Okay, so Brett has all this information now. I don't know if he's going to share this or what. We'll see. So then, Scottie and Haleigh were talking in the hammock later. This conversation is important. Okay, so first of all, Scottie said that his plan coming back was to act like he wanted revenge on Fessy. But he can't do that now because Fessy's gone. So I guess he was going to work with Fessy and Haleigh, but that kind of blew up, huh? So Haleigh's like, now we've got no moves left to make. It's just me and you. We're both on the block, and neither of us won the veto. Yeah, that kind of sucks. All right, so then I think they were talking about goodbye messages, and I think Haleigh was saying in Fessy's, she was like, you're my person, blah, blah, blah. And then Scottie blurts out, you had so many final twos. He says Bailey, Rockstar, Fessy, and Haleigh is denying it all. Oh my God, she is denying it all. She's like, no, Bales and Hales was just what Bailey and I were calling our like made up makeup line, and Rockstar and I never like really clearly said that we had a final two. And she says, I never had one with Fessy. So she says the only final two that she ever had was with Scottie. Are you serious? She is freaking, not only is she lying right now, but she's lying to someone with jury knowledge, okay? With jury knowledge, but that's her story and she's sticking to it. But oh boy, then, this is really important. Scottie says that Tyler told him that he is the pawn this week. So this is like Haleigh's worst fears for this week coming true, because so many times she's gone to Tyler and asked, am I the target? Am I the pawn? Who's the target? And Tyler would not tell her. So she felt like because she wasn't getting that reassurance that she was the pawn, that everybody was lying to her and she was the target. So now hearing this from Scottie, hearing that he heard from Tyler that he's the pawn, she's just like, so she's like, well, that sucks. So Scottie's like, yeah, but I'm not sure I believe it. You know, who knows? But Scottie does seem like he's feeling pretty safe here. So he's falling for what Tyler's saying. So then Big Brother gave them the alcohol that they missed in the storage room the night before. Let's get this showmance on the road, right? I feel like Big Brother is really trying to make this showmance happen. But it also led to some Haleigh sad tears. She was drinking her wine alone in her bed, crying. She's upset because Scottie said that he was told he's the pawn. So Kaycee comes in eventually. She's reassuring her. She's like, you're fine. I promise you, you're good. Scottie doesn't know what's going on. Okay? He doesn't know. So just relax. You just have to stay calm. All right, so I don't know if she fully bought that or what, but I'm sure Haleigh's going to be super paranoid all week that she's actually leaving. But I guess Big Brother got what they wanted, because just around 2:30 a.m., Tangela shared their first kiss in the HOH room. Yes, Mom, you were right. But honestly, it was so quick. It was just like, mwah, mwah. That was it, and then that was it. So anyway, that happened. And on a related note, Brett and JC becoming more and more paranoid about the showmans. They don't know that the kiss happened, but they were interrupting them like crazy last night when they were trying to hang out. And obviously they know that this showmance is happening. And on the other side, Tyler and Angela know that JC and Brett are trying to keep them apart. So it's like this crazy thing going on. It's wild. Alright, so today they should be having the Power Veto ceremony. I don't know how the holiday is going to affect it. I don't think in the past it really has. I think it should be fine. It's still going to be today, I'm pretty sure. I think it's pretty safe to say that Kaycee will not be using the Power Veto, but I will put it in the info below later if you want to check back. And I don't know, is Big Brother going to give them a Labor Day party or what? Are they going to take out the grill? We'll see. So I'm expecting it to be a pretty low-key day, but you never know. Those are usually the ones that turn out to be insane. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, hope you all have a happy, safe, wonderful Labor Day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. And until then, much love.